People think cultivating taste is about money or access, and I really think it's not. In fact, I think it's about experiences, curiosity, and attention, like to notice something. And I think a great example of this, stay with me here, is Remy from Ratatouille. Even when Remy was eating garbage scraps from a dumpster, he was observant, like he cared enough to notice things about it, and like how it made him feel. Did he like it? Did he not like it? What went well with what? He trained himself to be like sensitive to subtle relationships between like strawberries and cheese. And I think this maps perfectly to developing taste in any domain. Whether it's art, music, literature, design, fashion, starts with a genuine curiosity rather than wanting to just like signal sophistication.
I think taste is one of the most valuable things that you could possibly have, and I was getting ready and thinking about this. This is like an ongoing soapbox of mine that I will often bring up, but I feel like people who are, I personally would rather have taste than be very, very wealthy and well off and have no taste at all. When you have taste, you alone have something that is so valuable that like money can't actually buy it. I do think like it comes from having a specific interest in something that not everyone has. For example, clothes or, decor, makeup, etc. I always think about this when it comes to interior design and clothing. Like a lot of people who are wealthy will pay someone to decorate their house, design the inside of their house, pick out the tile and the floor, etc., etc. If you are an interior designer, you have that skill because you have taste, and obviously that skill is like strengthened by many hours of work and study. But something that I just think is so interesting is that interior designer will never have to pay an interior designer to design their home, and when they go and decorate their house, it will be so personal and interesting and have so many layers because they themselves have taste. It also definitely applies to personal style, obviously. At a certain point, it comes down to understanding what's you versus not really having an idea of what that is. And everyone's taste can look different. Like a lot of different styles fall under the category of like having taste. I think of like Martha Stewart, and how she kind of paved the way for this idea that like you didn't have to be extremely wealthy to have a beautiful home. You could do it yourself. Basically like the genesis of Pinterest and DIY and all of that. You can go to someone's house that isn't absolutely rolling in it, but they could have a beautiful house because the person that lives there has taste and like a personal style, and they have antiqued and thrifted their way to making that happen, versus going to someone's house that might be really wealthy and that's just not their thing, and you might be able to tell. You know what I mean? And so if I had to have one or the other, I guess I would always say that I would rather have taste because it is such a valuable thing, and if you have taste, you can always turn that into a personal skill. I think of people on this app who have turned their taste into a way to help other people develop their personal style or their home or whatever it is. And that's people using their taste and their interest. At the end of the day, taste and appearing as though you have taste is kind of what money is trying to buy. So if you feel like developing your taste is a waste of time, no, it's not. It is a very, very, very valuable skill. That's just my thoughts this morning. I thought I would share some. I'm trying to do more of these, like share my thoughts during Get Ready With Me's. Just a little hyperfixation because I seem to have a lot of them. I hope that was a fun little tidbit this morning. I hope you'll have a wonderful day and that you stay flamboyantly chic.
The reason you will never have any taste is because taste is cultivated through experience. Give yourself time to build that experience. That person dresses the way they do and has taste because they followed their mum to dinner parties when they were younger. They did a year abroad in Spain. They play a lot of tennis. They have a craft that they're dedicated to. They read a lot of X or Y, or they watch a lot of films. They spend more time learning who they are rather than showing people or telling people who they are. People that have taste aren't just born with it, they develop it. They lead very interesting lives, and it just shows in the way they present themselves.
You don't have to be rich to have taste. If you can't go to dinner parties or play tennis because it's too elite, then let's talk about Patti Smith. If you've read Just Kids, you know that this woman was poorer than poor. Like, she was sleeping in parks. She was eating other people's leftover bread. She mostly wore men's clothes because that's all she could find. And they were too big for her or too small for her. But she's an amazing poet and an amazing singer because of those experiences. And she has such a distinct punk style because of those experiences. So if playing tennis is too elite, then you can't get any worse than eating leftover bread. And yet she has amazing style and absolutely great taste.